Countdown to 2015 general elections. It's just 26 days to go to the rescheduled March 28 and April 11. So who are you marching for? I understand different people with their different political interests. We're also joined now by the National Organizing Secretary of the Unity Party of Nigeria, Dr. OLATEJU. Good morning, and thank you for finding time to join us.
Good morning, thank you very much.
Dr. Olayokun, thank you for also staying the course on the show.
It's always a pleasure.
Let me start with our new guest. These insinuations of having to remove the INEC chairman was rife last week when some APC senators came out to say that there are plans to ask him to embark on terminal leave. What would you say is the impact of a change in leadership for INEC at this time?
And any attempt by the federal government to remove Jega now will spell doom for Nigerian politics. Then it gives Nigeria as a nation a sort of credibility problem in the eyes of the international community. Jega, as far as some of us are concerned, is doing a good job. There are problems, no doubt about that. But the problems are meant to be solved, not by removing the man. I think the bone of contention, which it appears that federal government is not comfortable with, is the introduction of these PVC and a cadre style of voting and accreditation, which at least will reduce the incidence of rigging in any election, which I think is a plus for Jega and INEC. At the same time, one should also appreciate, because I've been to various villages and communities in the course of canvassing for votes here and there, a lot of Nigerians are yet, especially in the rural areas, especially in Ogun State, are yet to receive their PVC. And I think I've advised Jega once, and I'm going to repeat it again. For Jega to succeed, he cannot solely rely on INEC staff. Some of them are compromised. And some of the resident electoral commissioners too are compromised. So he needs to look beyond the INEC frontier now to set up a sort of monitoring team, maybe from the academia and the NGOs. Let them go around the various states.
But the return officers have always been from...
Those are returning officers for election.
Okay.
But for the distribution of the PVC, why are they not receiving it?
I see.
They said they've already distributed millions of PVC to millions of Nigerians. Yet people are complaining, especially in the rural areas. I was at a village called Owowo in Ewekoro local government. Complaint. I was somewhere in Afon, in Imeko Afon. The traditional ruler said they are willing to vote, but the subjects are not having the PVCs. And they have this paper form that says you've already registered, but they are not having the permanent voter's card. What is wrong? So Jega needs to have a quick look at that and fix that problem. Once that one is done, I think Jega should be given the credit. So whoever tries to remove Jega does not wish Nigeria and Nigerians well. I think Jega should be retained for him to complete this assignment of this 2015 election. Thereafter, they can put whoever they want there. Nigerians have confidence in Jega. The Nigerian masses, they have confidence in Jega, and it's staying for now.
Dr. Olayokun, what is this political interest on the person of Jega? Is there a possibility that there are certain political affiliation? Because, of course, the position of the PDP would be that, why is the APC so interested in the person of Jega? Is it that there has been a prior arrangement between both parties? What is the relevance of a single individual when we're talking about a whole organization like INEC?
I think there's a need for us to take this thing beyond the frontiers of political parties.
Okay.
And I cited the example of Professor Isesage and other prominent Nigerians that came out and said, no, we have confidence in this person. Let me tell you one thing. As far as Nigeria is concerned, based on the experience of 2007, Nigerians heaved a high sigh of relief after the 2011 elections. As a matter of fact, if you go by the court's proceeding or the record from the courts, we had fewer litigation that trailed 2011 elections unlike what happened in 2007, the election conducted by one Professor Morisiwo. Okay. As a matter of fact, they said the election was worse than that of Somalia. That was in the state of war. So if the guy had something on 2011, which Nigerians can say, oh, at least we are getting there. So if anybody is saying the guy should continue, it has nothing to do with political affiliation. Let me tell you one thing. Sometimes in December, I was in Port Harcourt, and I came across a guy. Then we got talking about election. And the guy told me not that he was not hiding. He said into 2011 elections that he voted 13 times. You see, there were some anomalies noticed in 2011 election, but Nigeria just allowed it to go. One, because of the guy's credibility, and two, oh, this one is better than 2007. Just sometimes in early February, I was in Calabar. I was in Onitsha, because anywhere I get to, I talked to people about elections. And I came across a university girl who told me that in the last election, that's the governorship election of that brought in Willie Obiano, that she voted 11 times. If you look at what the guy is doing, especially with this card reader of a thing, it's like an auditing system. That if you vote more than once, it will reflect at the central system. With the PVC, it is not possible for INEC to say, oh, this is the number of people that voted. Because in some polling booths, 200 people will vote. By the time they record this vote, they will record 400. With card reader and PVC, it is not possible. Exactly. So I don't know why people are creating these views over card reader and PVC. Must we continue in this tradition of election that cannot pass that of time? So if anybody is saying, oh, the guy must go, then I think Nigerians should begin to ask them, are you afraid of card reader? Initially, they told us the elections were postponed because of people didn't collect enough PVC. Yeah. Now the guy said March 8th. And I still want to implore the guy and his people, let them extend this thing. After all, we still have 20 days to go after March 8th to the election. Let Nigerians collect this thing and let us sanitize this electoral process.
Just a minute. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. I'm Dele from Kano.
From Kano. How's Kano this morning, Dele?
Well, we thank God.
Let's go ahead with your contribution.
Number one, I believe that the president will not sack Jega, but he would, like he said, and like he was quoted about the letter to the commission, he will not sack him, but he will not know that he has been asked to leave on a terminal leave. Let us begin that way. All right? That the commander-in-chief will not know that his NSA has written a letter breaching all protocol and procedures. That's number one. Number two, I pray that God save us from all these intellectual and social-intellectual fraudsters that we have in this country. All right? What we have, manipulating facts and working on the ignorance, the base ignorance of the population of this country. And you see, they think that our rhetorical power is the same thing as wisdom. That is the sad thing. That they think they can speak eloquently, and the facts will be concealed in their oration. It is sad. Now let me tell you this. I wonder why the campaign team of the president will take two issues and yet won the support of the North. One, you are hammering, you don't have anything to talk about except the certificate of the opposing party. What you are saying is you are telling them, the vote of the North, that they are educationally backward. They don't need their vote. You are affecting your ethic, and you're not able to see within the line, in between the line, the import of the campaign. You saw what happened in Lagos yesterday. How can our dear president be in Lagos addressing the youth, and all our leaders were speaking to the youth there in broken English? And yet you are talking about your educational program that has been very, very successful.
Lily, are you there? Well, I'm afraid we lost there. Let me come to you quickly, Dr. OLATEJU, because there are also insinuations from the opposition that the plans are rife to postpone elections in the 6 states in the northeast zone of Nigeria. Would you say that the progress in the onslaught against Boko Haram should give Nigerians the benefit of doubt if there are plans to postpone elections in northeast for the sake of the ongoing war against terrorism?
You see, if we stop playing politics with the lives of Nigerians, elections, local government elections were conducted, I think in Borno State or somewhere. Yeah, Borno and Yobe. Nothing happened. So if the state government could conduct local government elections successfully there with minimal security apparatus, what stops the federal government from conducting the general election? You see, the idea of saying that we want to postpone because of the Boko Haram thing is just an excuse for rigging again. From my own view, I think there has been a long-term plan. How do we reduce the voting strength of a section of the country? Boko Haram insurgency have been with us for many years now. International community has come, they've gone, the Americans came, they left in annoyance because of non-cooperative attitude of the federal government of Nigeria. So if seriously we want to curb the Boko Haram issue, election should not be an excuse. The people of Borno are ready to vote. They are willing to vote. Let them decide. What caused the problem originally is imposition of wrong candidates on the people. In 2007, when you impose candidates without taking the sociological conditions of the environment into consideration, you have these kind of reactions coming up. So those behind it, they know themselves. They are the people in power. They know how to curb it. So election has nothing to do with that unless they are not prepared to conduct election. And then shifting election again shows that federal government is not willing to relinquish power. I mean, PDP, not willing to relinquish power, looking for every available opportunity to hold on to power. And that means spell disaster again, because Nigerians will not take it easy. Abacha tried it, he couldn't succeed. Babangida tried it, he couldn't succeed. Shagari messed up with the economy. 79 to 83, he couldn't succeed. So I don't see Jonathan messing up with the economy, trying to play politics with the lives and future of our children, succeeding this time around. Any attempt by the federal government to shift this election again, we see Nigerians take it to the street, and that will be the end of Jonathan's administration in Nigeria.
Is that a threat, Dr. OLATEJU? Is it a threat on behalf of Nigerians?
It's an advice.
Well, whichever way you look at it, it's not a threat. I'm just advising.
It's all right.
I'm just advising. They should not try it.
Do you think that elections can be conducted without the involvement of 6 states of the Northeast in Nigeria?
It will be very preposterous to be talking about we can't because of these states conduct elections. Because the elections were postponed initially on the basis of 3 states. And they said, give us 6 weeks, we'll be able to clean up the system. And when the president appeared on the presidential media chat, he echoed what the NSA said, that even if he cannot flush these guys out completely, he would have created a conducive atmosphere for elections to hold. So it cannot gel now for them to be telling us that after the 6 weeks, what we are doing is we can conduct elections across the country. As a matter of fact, before the elections were postponed, some of us even offered this suggestion, that why don't you conduct elections in the remaining 33 states and call what they can call either supplementary or by-election in these 3 troubled states, where you can mobilize all the security agencies you can lay your hands on and push them into these 3 states and ensure that elections hold in this country, in these 3 states. Doctor has just said something. How come that they held local government elections in some of these states without any unfortunate sin? I was privileged to watch what's supposed to be the campaign of the APC presidential candidate in Borno State. And I saw the crowd. So the question I was asking myself is, why are we complaining about that we can't hold the election? If this set of people could come out, even daring whatever could have happened. Because before the thing was called off, I was praying that, God, please don't let anything happen. I'm telling you, because when I saw that crowd, the question I was asking myself is, how come then we say we can't hold the election in this state?
And considering the fact that as at February 14, some states in this region even had one of the highest
collection
rate of
PVC.
You see, when Nigerians are taking things from this government with a pinch of salt, you cannot blame them. I remember that when the NSA went to Chatham House to fly the kite of election will be postponed, the guy came back to Nigeria and people accosted him and said, did you say it? He said he was misquoted. Nothing is going to happen to the election date. About 4 days later, the president's media advisor came out with a release that the election will not be postponed. And they were working on the ground. I am telling you this because I have friends that partake in this booty. They were distributing money to parties to make sure the vote that the election will be postponed. Quote me. So the point is, why are you doing something and then your movement is different?
Let's take this call very quickly. I'm back with you shortly. Hello, good morning.
I want to contribute to the debate.
In the debate, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Electoral debate.
Biodu from where?
Calling from Osogbo.
From Osogbo. Okay, Biodu, you have 1 minute. Please go ahead with your contribution.
From Osogbo.
Go ahead with your contribution.
Okay. Then the China was saying that they should have held the election, and then the remaining part should be held later. Don't you know that there will be bad wake-up effects? You know that if they had held the election and then they saw that the election had swayed to the other a winning party, there will be bad wake-up effects. You should take that in mind. So the election will be credible. And secondly, let me contribute to this one. About we should know the difference between removing and then terminal leave. You should say that they want to start. Terminal leave is part of the condition for appointment. So when you refer to Morisiu, that because he didn't do well, he was asked to proceed on terminal leave. He didn't go to the National Assembly as you are saying now. Furthermore, when at Osun State, when the man who was supposed to conduct the election was asked to leave, he conducted the election and nothing happened. The party which won. So I don't see the difference that you should proceed on terminal leave. It's not touching if you know the difference.
It's all right. I believe you made your point there. We're running out of time now. Doctor, let me quickly have your opinion
maybe I should
on...
correct him on certain things.
I'm going to give you the time to do that. But I just want us to quickly wrap it up here. You were talking about the economics challenges of Nigeria, just before we came on air. Do you see this having any impact on the turnout of voters? Because, of course, early this morning we also heard about fuel scarcity across the country in some areas. What do you think the impact of this economic situation, the price of dollar and all of that, on the chances of voters coming out to vote?
Honestly speaking, it will be the greatest energizer. Because majority of Nigerians are now living below poverty level. They are feeling the crush of poverty, the cost of education, the living expenses rising every day. Take home pay could no longer take anybody home. A lot of Nigerians are unemployed. Majority of Nigerians are homeless. Most Nigerians are debtors, either to banks or to private loan companies or to individuals. How do they get out of this? And they've all discovered one thing, and that is bad management of the economy. And who's at the end of affairs? Good luck, Jonathan, who has never brought good luck to any Nigerian home, majority of Nigerian homes. So what Nigerians are yearning for now is a change. They want a change. But that does not mean, I should make it clear, that does not mean that the kind of change we are looking for in Nigeria may immediately come to the APC. But at least Nigeria prevents anything that will take Jonathan out of way.
Does the party, the Unity Party of Nigeria, has a presidential candidate?
No.
It's obvious that you're pitching your tent with another party.
No.
Not exactly.
No.
It's all right. Let me have your
Yes, I just need to
your
correct
conclusion
because there is certain issues concerning the inconclusive elections. In an inconclusive election, they don't announce results on the elections are held in the other area. So the issue of bandwagon doesn't come into it.
But having to wait for that long.
It shouldn't be more than 2 weeks. Because don't forget that the constitution allows for runoff election.
2 weeks to count elections?
No, they will have counted.
Okay.
Look at what happened in Anambra State. When they couldn't hold elections in some states,
okay, they would have counted
they will count and
published the
So what
numbers,
they did in Anambra was to do what they call supplementary, because election could not hold across the state. So that's why they will not announce. Then two, on the issue of asking to go on terminal leave, I want to refer to part 5, the 5th schedule of the constitution. Let him go and read part 2. He will see the list of civil servants. INEC chairman is not part of them. Then as to what happened to Professor OLATEJU in Oshogbo, Osun State, before the last election, the guy was only asked to, they redeployed him. They didn't ask him to leave INEC. Now, I hope Biodun is listening. The guy was redeployed because PDP complained that the guy has been compromised by APC. Though what they did was to redeploy him to another state and deploy another person to come to Oshogbo to conduct the election.
Thank you very much.
But like Doctor said, it is very, very unfortunate that Nigerians' attention are being distracted, taken away from the issue that should dominate our discussions. We should be talking about the economy. Now we bought fuel, we are buying fuel at 100 naira per litre, and nobody's talking. That's Nigeria for you.
Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on the show today. Deepo Olayoko, it's good to have you. And Dr. OLATEJU, I hope that you find some other time to join us on the show. He is the National Organizing Secretary of the Unity Party of Nigeria. A big thank you to all of our callers. The show continues tomorrow, God willing, at 9 o'clock. You can also watch a repeat broadcast at 12 midnight on on Star Times channel 329, and of course you can also subscribe via Wawu TV to watch this channel live from anywhere in the world. Of course, you can also watch this edition of the program on YouTube. It's www.youtube.com/CoTV, Liver Space and News. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Stick around for the top of the hour news. Don't go away.
Core TV News, expanding your view.